Science has shown that there are only six storylines. So if you get the feeling that you've seen this movie before, you have. Now, this is an age-old debate in the storytelling and writing communities. Some say there are 3 storylines, some say 7, some 12, even all the way up to 36. But the fact remains that there are only a handful of things that we care about as humans, as emotional beings, psychologically speaking. This study was done several years ago. It was called Project Gutenberg, and it used AI to analyze over 1,000 stories across all generations to try to reveal what are the storylines, the emotional storylines that we see over and over and over again. And it was inspired by, or set out to prove or disprove, Kurt Vonnegut's theory, 8 Shapes of Stories. And if you aren't familiar with that, let me know, because that's worth a whole nother video. And what they found pretty conclusively is that there are 6 emotional storylines that we see over and over and over again. Not the plot, not the sequence of events. There's a million different versions of that, you can tell. But the real story, the emotional story. So I say this because if you're a writer, if you're a filmmaker, if you're a storyteller, you shouldn't try to wedge your story into one of these shapes, but you should understand them so that if you're getting stuck, you can look at what's been done before and maybe rethink your way forward in your story. Or if you do feel like it's a little bit familiar, that's okay, because we've done that time and time and time again. You just need to put your little twist on it. All right, let's get into all 6 of the storylines they found. Take a look at them.
Okay, so the first one is the rag to riches story shape, or a constant rise. This might even be the most common. There's too many examples to really even mention, but think Rocky, think Shawshank Redemption. The second one is the opposite of that, the tragedy, or the riches to rags story, which is a constant fall. This does not mean rags to riches, riches to rags monetarily only, necessarily. So think Romeo and Juliet, classic tragedy story. This is directly out of Vonnegut's playbook, The Man in the Hole story shape, a fall and then a rise. So, man falls into a hole, man spends the movie trying to get out of the hole. After that is the Icarus story, the rise and then fall. So this is like any classic fly too close to the sun story, like Scarface or something like that. Then we got the Cinderella story, rise, fall, then rise. And lastly, the Oedipus story, fall, rise, and then fall. So 2 things I want you to notice. If you know my storytelling work, I often talk about this. They're all some version of the up and down motion. That's all it is. That's all storytelling is. Increasing tension and releasing that tension. Ups and downs, ebbs and flows. And lastly, this is life. This is how life goes, right? You heard the saying, art imitates life. That's because we live these story shapes as much as we tell them. This is all our real lives. Hope this helps. Let me know if you have any questions.